Okay, welcome back live from Grinnell, Iowa. We are cutting into action here late in the second quarter.
Jeez.
That was a catch by
Yeah,
Eric
it was a
Medina.
one-handed catch. He had a linebacker hanging all over
draped
him.
all over him. And so we are with 2 minutes and 12 seconds left in the second quarter. We had a touchdown in the interim there. The score now 28-0. And South Tama just got a kick return there, and they are set up deep in their own territory.
Yep, so the South Tama ended up going 3 and out last time we were on here, and a couple timeouts by South Tama. Long story short, nice punt by Medina down by Thompson, and then a 68-yard, first play of the drive, 68-yard, kind of an electrifying touchdown run by Kipanzu.
And so we are having some internet issues here this evening, so we do apologize about that, and kind of doing everything we can to reconfigure our router and do different things. But if we do, we'll continue to try and stay connected throughout the evening. If we keep having issues, just touch back in with us on the YouTube channel. We'll have a new feed each time if we have to reconnect. So that's kind of the plan here. If you want to stay with us, we do have the Gary Bock State Farm halftime show coming up here. A minute and a half left to go in the first half. And we're going to talk to Chelsea Ahrens, South Tama High School Activities Director, and just get some updates on some things going on at the high school and around the athletics programs as well.
So South Tama coming off the timeout. The Tigers coming back on the field. Now South Tama. Looks like they will forego the huddle and line right up on the ball. Anthony Viramontes handling the snaps for the Trojans. Young Bear and Cervantes to the right of Viramontes. Blocker's going to receive the snap and turn and run just off tackle to the right side. It was a fake to Michael Henry.
And Grinnell again pushing back.
Yeah, so I don't know where that ball's going to be set as far as forward progress, but it doesn't look like the chains are moving, so I'm going to say no gain on the play for Blocker.
Yeah, third down now, 3rd and 9 on the 21 as we near the 1-minute mark left in the second quarter.
3rd and 9 for South Tama. Blocker getting the play call from offensive coordinator Coach Dustin Pesca. Anthony Thompson's going to run tight end to the near side. Nick Upaw to the wide side of the field as the receiver, the lone receiver. Blocker with Medina lined up next to him. Clegg in motion. It's a direct snap to Medina, and he's got running room up the middle.
Nice
Powerful run. Finishes it off. Tackle in there by Derek Doty.
First down there by Medina. Pushes the ball up near just inside the 35. Still on the South Tama side of things, and they've got under a minute to go as the clock running, 38 seconds and counting.
So we've seen that a couple times in the past week, that direct snap to the fullback. And Marcus Bears missed the last few snaps at the fullback position. Eric Medina running that position in lieu of Bear. Clegg in motion. Blocker fakes. He's going to give it to Henry. Henry's going to throw it to Upaw. That ball will be picked off.
That was number 2 for Grinnell, Kellen Harder.
And Harder brought down right around the 47 of the South Tama Trojans. So Grinnell will set up shot just over midfield. So that was the play I was talking about earlier, and it looks like Grinnell had maybe seen it a few times, which is kind of the tricky part about running a kind of a circus play like that.
You want to keep Grinnell out of the end zone here, but South Tama had a real long field in front of them.
Just 5 seconds left. They're going to try something and see if they can get a big play out of it. So Kaufman will line up one more time for the snap. He's got 3 receivers to the near side of the field. Marcus Baird jockeying around. He's going to roll up to an end position.
Kind of a Hail
Kaufman
Mary
with
situation.
some time.
Wow. A reception by, that was number 8, Derek Doty, right across the middle. Probably 20 yards or better there by Doty. But that will take us to halftime. So the clock runs out after the reception, and it stays at 28-0 after 2 quarters of play here at TT Cranny Field. Now we are at the Gary Bock State Farm halftime show. I'd like to thank the folks at Gary Bock State Farm in Toledo for being our presenting sponsor for our halftime segments this fall season. And we're going to hear a word from them, and then we're going to come back and get into our halftime here at Grinnell. Listen, switching to Gary Bock State Farm was one of the best decisions I've ever made. About 3 years ago, we moved our personal business over to Gary Bock, and I couldn't be happier with the results. Not only did we save a ton on our rates, but the entire experience was really smooth and hassle-free. Gary and his team are always quick to communicate, and they're available whenever we need them, which is so important in today's fast-paced world. What I love most is that they're locally owned and operated. When you go in there, you know who you're looking at, you know who you're going to see, and that's a huge thing. They truly understand the diverse needs of our community and provide outstanding customer service that's both personal and professional. With over 125 five-star ratings on Google, it's clear I'm not the only one who feels this way. Everybody loves working with Gary Bock. If you're looking for affordable rates and a team that genuinely cares, I highly recommend Gary Bock State Farm Insurance in Toledo. You won't be disappointed. Gary Bock State Farm, here to help life go right. Here first.
Okay.
Welcome back live from Grinnell, Iowa. It's the Gary Bock State Farm halftime show. After 2 quarters of play, the Grinnell Tigers up 28-0 against South Tama in the Steve Kriegel Memorial Trophy game here in Grinnell. Trojan fans, the folks over at Gary Bock State Farm have something important going on this fall. You're going to want to hear about it. It's called Quotes for Good. Here's the deal. We've all been witnessing the news reports coming in about the hurricane devastation that hit North Carolina and surrounding states in late September. We've learned Hurricane Helene is one of the deadliest storms to hit the U.S. mainland in almost 20 years. Our neighbors in the southeast are now facing a daunting task of rebuilding, in some cases, from the literal ground up. Gary Bock and his team in Toledo are stepping up to help those affected by the Hurricane Helene disaster with their Quotes for Good campaign. Through October and November, for every new insurance quote, whether it's home, auto, farm, business, renters, life, or even pet insurance, $20 will be donated by Gary Bock State Farm to support hurricane relief efforts. And with the State Farm Company matching each donation, your quote could contribute up to $40 to those in need. Our community in Tama, Toledo knows the hardship of recovery after natural disasters like our 2020 derecho. Now it's time to lend a hand to our neighbors in the South. Call Gary Bock State Farm in Toledo today at 641-484-3163. They can help save you money on insurance, and you can help by being a good neighbor when it matters most. Like a good neighbor, Gary Bock State Farm is there. Some score updates for you around the state. Fairfield down 20-0 against Williamsburg in the second quarter. Roland Story leading Greene County. They're into the third quarter, and the score is 20-0. Roland Story up. Belle Plaine, they're in the rankings in Class 8 player, and they are trailing Montezuma 21-10 in the third quarter. Good one developing there to the south. West Marshall leading Iowa Falls Alden, but it's a close game, 10-0 in the third quarter. So that's kind of our score updates at the moment. And some thoughts from you, Nate, on this first quarter of our first half of action between South Tama and Grinnell.
You know, coming in, we knew Grinnell was going to be a tough matchup for us. The big story coming in was quarterback Kaufman at quarterback for Grinnell, and early on we held him to just a few completions. He's had a couple big strikes in the second quarter, but overall, they're not beating us up out there, and I think we're competing well at times. A few first downs for South Tama, but it's going to be lost that field position battle early. We've had a couple good punts and nice little rolls on the punts where we were able to down it. But look to see South Tama coming out. It's 28-0. Crazier things have happened.
Right.
But if nothing else, give it a performance where you can kind of hold your head high coming off the field, regardless of the outcome. Yeah,
absolutely. We got the Grinnell dance team on the field right now. About 15 minutes to go left in this halftime period, and you're in the Gary Bock State Farm halftime show. Thanks to the folks at Gary Bock State Farm in Toledo for being our title sponsor this fall season. We are going to step away for just a moment, and when we get back, we're going to have a conversation with South Tama High School Activities Director Chelsea Ahrens. Thanks for being with us here on Trojan Country. Listen, switching to Gary Bock State Farm was one of the best decisions I've ever made. About 3 years ago, we moved our personal business over to Gary Bock, and I couldn't be happier with the results. Not only did we save a ton on our rates, but the entire experience was really smooth and hassle-free. Gary and his team are always quick to communicate, and they're available whenever we need them, which is so important in today's fast-paced world. What I love most is that they're locally owned and operated. When you go in there, you know who you're looking at, you know who you're going to see, and that's a huge thing. They truly understand the diverse needs of our community and provide outstanding customer service that's both personal and professional. With over 125 five-star ratings on Google, it's clear I'm not the only one who feels this way. Everybody loves working with Gary Bock. If you're looking for affordable rates and a team that genuinely cares, I highly recommend Gary Bock State Farm Insurance in Toledo. You won't be disappointed. Gary Bock State Farm, here to help life go right. Trojan Country would like to say thank you to all of our local fall season sponsors. They include Gary Bock State Farm, Iowa Premium, MercyCare Tama, Stein-Hrabak Floor Coverings, Hrabak Lumber, Medicap Pharmacy, TFD Photo and Film, Kruse-Phillips Funeral Home, Marquess and Hoyer Law Office, Tommy Hexter for Iowa, S&S Car Wash, Darling Ingredients, The Pump, Scharnweber's, Eric H. Media, Assured Partners Insurance, State Bank of Toledo, and Appraisal and Real Estate Services. So maybe the first thing I'll talk about Welcome back live from Grinnell, Iowa. It is the Gary Bock State Farm halftime show as South Tama trailing the Grinnell Tigers here on the Steve Kriegel Memorial Trophy game. This is an interesting one. North Scott leading Cedar Rapids Xavier into the second half, 14-7, a close one there, and it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out. North Polk up 15-8, a close one against Ballard. They're into the third quarter, and Pella handling Newton so far at the halftime mark. Pella leading Newton 27-7. And so there's some scores. We'll see about getting some additional ones as we get further into the Gary Bock State Farm halftime show. Looking at the clock, we've got about 12 minutes to go here before we get the third quarter underway. But right now I'm joined by my guest this evening. We've got STC High School Activities Director Chelsea Ahrens with us. Chelsea, how you feeling tonight on a Friday night over in Grinnell?
Well, it's a beautiful evening. Thanks for having me again, Darvin.
Yeah,
appreciate the time, and thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, no doubt. So let's kind of jump into some things here. I like to just kind of get some updates and talk to you about what's been going on. Where it feels like school just started, but we're also into the second month, and things kind of just rolling along here. Want to talk first about some projects and facilities, things that have been going on. I like to kind of keep an eye. Steve Bearden does a good job of promoting the things that the Booster Club's doing and the things that they're contributing to. And I know that has some things to do with the activities department as well. So can you kind of just anything new, anything updating that you can give us kind of from a project standpoint or a facilities standpoint?
Sure, yeah. So we had a Booster Club. We have a Booster Club meeting the first Wednesday of the month at the Tama Toledo Country Club. Any member of the South Tama community is invited to attend those meetings. But one project they approved on Wednesday night is a stencil. It's about 43 foot tall by 28 foot wide stencil of the Trojan head that will be placed at center midfield.
Nice.
We're really excited about that. We're hope to have it. We have 2 home games remaining, right? So we want to have it at least by the last one against Solon. We're hoping maybe to have that Benton game. So as long as it gets here, we're excited about that. That was spearheaded by our high school head custodian, Cody Taylor. So, it would be kind of cool if we got that.
Of course,
you think that's something if the Booster Club would do.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. Another project that's kind of been in the works since last summer, and I would say that's been led by our wrestling staff, both Nate Van Dyke and Scott Bolin as our middle school AD, and Steve Chima, is we're undergoing some renovations in the Four Seasons Center with the wrestling mats. So We're completely redoing the entire indoor facility with new wall mats.
Yep.
And this is our practice facility, obviously.
Right.
And then the mats itself. So they were put in. Actually, the install was happening yesterday and today.
Okay.
And a lot of kids helped with this project, actually.
Yeah,
they helped
great.
moved out the old mats. The reason for this was we needed a facility for our middle school wrestling students.
Yep.
Right. Currently, we have 2 rooms that we've used: high school wrestling and then middle school wrestling. Well, now with the
Kind of
addition,
split down the middle there in that building, if you've ever been in there, yeah.
correct. So with the addition of high school girls wrestling and the growing sport that it is, we've kind of run out of space. And so it made sense to have a separate middle school wrestling room. And so the old mats and old wall mats will be installed at the juvenile home.
Can you give us an idea of the numbers, kind of thinking, well, we had a lot of freshmen in that girls' high school program last year, so the numbers are kind of building from the middle school up. Offhand, do you happen to know roughly how many middle school girls we had last year involved in wrestling?
Yeah, there was over 20
Okay.
between 7th and 8th grade, but that was a combination with East Marshall and GMG.
Okay. Yep.
I believe there was.
And we're back with them again this year, right?
So correct. We still have a co-op agreement with them.
Okay.
I would anticipate our numbers we'll have a full varsity lineup, so we'll be close to the 17, 20 amount of kids.
That's great.
The question will be how many of those current freshmen that wrestled and played basketball last year. This is the decision.
Yeah.
Will they play basketball? Will they wrestle?
Is a dual sport option available at all for any? Is that possible even?
It's tough in high school with basketball, softball. I mean, if we were to come across that possibility, we would try our best to work something out. It's a lot more common in the spring, with like tennis and golf and track and soccer. But there is less of a conflict. Wrestling meets are typically Thursday, Saturday, right? And basketball's Tuesday, Friday. So, but it's just that practice time, right? So we're excited about that. The facility looks really nice, and girls wrestling will be here before we know it.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So we last couple of years we've been starting with that girls home invitational meet. I remember that first year. The sport had just got sanctioned by the girls' union, and we just had a packed roundhouse of schools and fans from all over the place coming together. Our program was strong out the gate, and it was just really exciting. So I'm excited to see it again this year. Another project I wanted to ask you about, it's kind of been underway for a little bit, and it's been close to my family. Allison's late father, Charley, was a big member of the media and just the South Tama family here for a number of years. And part of his memorial was the high school sign that sits outside of the high school on the road sign with the digital front there. And there was some work. Could you kind of just tell us what the work was done and where kind of things are at with getting that sign up and running again? Yeah.
So over the summer, actually, Steve Bearden noticed that it wasn't lighting up anymore. The lights inside of it are fluorescent.
Yep.
It was installed back in, I believe,
2013. Yep.
13, yes.
Yep.
We don't think that we've done much maintenance on it since then. So I called Nagel Signs and I asked them to come take a look at it.
Yep. And
they said, you know what, we could definitely replace the fluorescent, but it'd be easier just to go to LED. Everything's going LED right now. They came and fixed it back early to September 24th and installed LED to update it. So the Booster Club contributed towards this project. I'm really excited. That's kind of one thing you see on the highway. You go by.
It marks where we are.
Correct.
Correct. Yeah, and it's something. When me and Allison and Anita go through there, it's a point of pride. Just seeing that Charley was able to just kind of. Just be a part of that kind of landmark situation. So thank you to the boosters. Thank you to you and the district for getting that up and running again. We do appreciate that. A couple other things I know going on at South Tama coming up this fall. We're getting ready to get into that transition period between fall sports and winter activities. But I know we do have a blood drive coming up later this month, and we also have the school play coming up. I don't know if you want to talk about either of those. Whatever you want to start with, go ahead.
Sure, yes. We'll start with the blood drive. Tuesday, October 29th, the Student Council will host a blood drive, a yearly blood drive we do. It's from 9 to 2 at the high school gym. We encourage adults to sign up beforehand, get registered. We'll have Student Council members throughout the community trying to get we encourage. There's about 40 students in student council right now.
Yep.
Our goal is to have them talk to 5 people.
Yeah.
And get them signed up to come in. And many of them, of course, will be high schoolers. You can give blood with your 17 and older, 16 with parent permission.
Okay.
So that's a lot of our donors, but we're excited about that.
Yeah.
We do 2 blood drives. And then, yes, the school play. We'll do a play this year in the fall. It's The Sting, directed by Dixie Forch.
Nice.
There's a cast of about 30 cast and crew of about 30 high school students and a few middle school students that are involved. That will put The Sting on, which is based on the 1930 mob era.
Yeah. Noir sort of thing.
And it will be at the Weeding, and it will debut on Thursday, November 7th.
Great.
There'll be a show Thursday, November 7th, Friday, November 8th, and 2 shows on Saturday, November 9th. There'll be a matinee at 2 and then a 7 o'clock show. So we encourage people to go out and see that and the hard work that those people have done. So we're excited to see that.
Always want to promote our theater arts, and it's been a growing and really strong program at South Tama. I think our speech kids and a lot of those same kids are involved in play and musical each year, really succeeding in their competitions when they go, and you see that same thing when they get on the stage and perform as well. So it's a proud moment for a lot of community members and those parents to just get to see those kids perform. I was one of those kids when I was back in high school, and really encourage our community to get out and support at the Weeding Theater, no less. So it's a fun venue to go and see some theater at as well. All right, going to get you out here on this. We got a Hawkeye game coming up on tomorrow. And what's thoughts about the Hawkeyes headed into Columbus? I'm
not feeling the most confident, Darvin. The Hawkeyes haven't won in Columbus since 1991.
Oh boy.
I don't feel that this. I don't feel confident in the spread, though. I do think it's a little large.
Yeah.
I think the Hawkeyes or the Buckeyes are favored by 21 or more. I don't think that's going to happen. But the Hawkeyes have given up some big plays this year on defense, which has been surprising.
Indeed.
I see us losing, unfortunately.
Sure. Yeah.
But keeping it within that spread, I think we'll cover.
What I love to see is we got Cade McNamara, and a few years back, Cade McNamara at Michigan upset Ohio State, and
That's true.
I'd love it would be a great kind of coming out party for him to put a statement win on the Hawkeyes schedule. So
that would be awesome. I will be in favor if I am wrong.
So we'll both be watching eagerly. Good luck to the Hawkeyes tomorrow as they take the field. Thank you so much, Chelsea. Any final thoughts before we sign off here and head to break?
No, thank you so much, Darvin, for continuing to cover the Trojans and all the different interviews and time that you put in throughout the week and promoting our students and our school. I appreciate the time that you put in. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks a lot. That was Chelsea Ahrens, our STC High School Activities Director. Listen, switching to Gary Bock State Farm was one of the best decisions I've ever made. About 3 years ago, we moved our personal business over to Gary Bock, and I couldn't be happier with the results. Not only did we save a ton on our rates, but the entire experience was really smooth and hassle-free. Gary and his team are always quick to communicate, and they're available whenever we need them, which is so important in today's fast-paced world. What I love most is that they're locally owned and operated. When you go in there, you know who you're looking at, you know who you're going to see, and that's a huge thing. They truly understand the diverse needs of our community and provide outstanding customer service that's both personal and professional. With over 125 five-star ratings on Google, it's clear I'm not the only one who feels this way. Everybody loves working with Gary Bock. If you're looking for affordable rates and a team that genuinely cares, I highly recommend Gary Bock State Farm Insurance in Toledo. You won't be disappointed. Gary Bock State Farm, here to help life go right. Welcome back live from TT Cranny Field in Grinnell, Iowa. It is the Gary Bock State Farm halftime shows. We're just getting things wrapped up and ready to go in the third quarter. I'd like to say thank you to Gary Bock State Farm and the team over in Toledo for their support this year. Make sure to check out their Quotes for Good campaign that's starting now through the end of November. And you can help support the hurricane relief efforts in the Southeast, North Carolina, and surrounding states. For every new insurance quote, that could be home, auto, farm, business, renters, life, or even pet insurance, $20 will be donated by Gary Bock State Farm to hurricane relief efforts. And also, the State Farm Company is matching each donation up to the first $4,500. And so your quote, a free quote, could contribute up to $40 for those in need. And I know South Tama community members, we know something about natural disaster relief and having to pick up after storms come through. And so now's the time to lend a hand. If you need help with your insurance, you can save some money with State Farm and go ahead and have a free quote, help out hurricane relief efforts, and thank you to Gary Bock State Farm for their support this season. Darvin Graham and Nate Van Dyke with you here as we are just about ready for the start of the third quarter. What do you like to see here, Nate, as South Tama comes out down 28-0?
Just keep playing football. Stick with the process, like I said before, but win the third quarter, maybe win the half.
Yeah.
Could see some substitutions coming in for Grinnell, so score a touchdown.
You bet.
Whatever, set little carrots, little goals for your team.
Exactly. Increments. So a couple of score updates as we get ready for kickoff here. Solon trailing Benton in the second quarter last check there. 7-6 was the score between the Bobcats and the Spartans. Union Community leading 14-6 in the third quarter against Jessup. East Marshall trailing Hudson 21-0. Clear Lake down by 2 touchdowns, 14-0 against Algona. That's a big matchup over in Northwest Iowa. There we're into the second quarter at last check. And Humboldt leading Charles City 15-0 in the third. So South Tama will kick off to start things in the third quarter.
Kipanzu and Hoops back to return for the Tigers.
And
Medina
Hoops,
to kick for South Tama.
Hoops, a big first half for the Tigers.
Kipanzu with that big
yeah, he was in there too.
68-yard run for a touchdown. Here's Hoops. He picks up kind of a loose ball, runs to the far side of the field. He's up past the 40 to the 45.
Hoops is flying, and he finally
tackled
gets
right
knocked
around
out.
the 46-yard line of Grinnell.
And so that will set up Grinnell for their first drive of the second half. They lead 28-0.
Melis Garcia-Upaw on the front line for South Tama. They'll be joined by Kinzer Jeanette on the near side.
First and 10 here for Kaufman and company as they set up.
Couple receivers to the near side. Kaufman's going to give the ball to Ringler.
All kinds of room to
running
run.
Toward the near side.
First down and then a couple.
Sermon with the tackle. After a 10-yard gain and a first down by Ringler.
We have been having internet issues this evening, so if we do happen to drop out, we will come back with a new feed. Just to want to give you an announcement there on that. So just refresh your YouTube app, and we'll have a new feed up as soon as we can get reconnected. We do apologize about that, but here we go in first and 10 for the Tigers on the 43.
Kaufman with 2 receivers set to the far side of the field. He's going to drop back, stepping up in the pocket.
On the run, that was...
Delivers the ball.
That was Doty. Oh. It's been Doty and Heischman in the backfield for Grinnell. And Blocker will get the stop, but that will be good for a first down.
About a 23-yard pass from Kaufman to Doty.
First and 10 on the 16-yard line as Grinnell marching their way up the field again.
Kaufman now 6 for 9 on the night. Now 81 yards passing. So 3 receivers to the near side. A trips look for the Grinnell Tigers. Kaufman will take the snap, looking to his left, screen pass.
It's Doty again, this time on the left side. He finally gets brought down.
And he'll pick up a few.
Yep. 2nd and 6 now on the 16-yard line.
So Doty, currently the favorite target for Kaufman. Doty with 4 catches on the night. 3 other receivers for Grinnell with receptions. And they're bringing 4 new players into the game on offense, are the Tigers. Kaufman will stay in at quarterback.
Yeah.
Ringler to his left.
Ringler's in there too, yep.
2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Kaufman gives to Ringler up the middle.
And gets covered up. 3rd down here.
Nice little gang tackle by the Trojans. And Garrett Sermon leading the way, along with Marty Garcia and Eric Medina. So Garcia getting on a few tackles tonight. We've heard his name a couple times.
Seen him up the field, too, on a couple of plays as well. Chasing down Tigers.
Garcia, Upaw, and Mellies on the front line for South Tama. Young Baron Sermon, the inside linebackers.
Kind of a different look with the receiving core. I think that may be some
Fake
pressure
from
there.
Kaufman. He's got
Kaufman's
pressure, and
gonna
it's a
go
sack
down.
for the Trojans. Kyle Youngbear in on the sack. Pressure from several other Trojans. So Youngbear comes on the stunt and picks up a quarterback sack.
That'll bring up 4th down, but the Tigers well into South Tama territory. They could kick a field goal here. They could go for it.
And it looks like the field goal kicker, Hoops, is on the field, and he's getting his steps ready to try to send one through the uprights. And that was Kaufman's first official carry of the night. He came into the game leading the Tigers in rushing. Hoops' kick up, it's high, and it's got the distance, and it's right through the uprights.
31-0 after the field goal by Jack Hoops. Eight and a half to go left in quarter number 3.
So Tigers have to settle for 3 on their first drive of the half. That's their first field goal of the night. Hoops continues to do work in the kicking game, the special teams game, returning punts, kicks, kicking off, punting.
So kickoff coming here. Same returners, Henry and Clegg, to receive for the Trojans.
Anthony Thompson, the up back.
If you're just tuning in, it's kind of been all Grinnell tonight. We haven't seen too many breakout, offensive possessions for South Tama.
Henry on the return. He brings it just up past the 20-yard line. So the South Tama Trojans will start on their own 21.
Broadcast reminder for you. Got a couple of broadcasts coming up this week. On Tuesday, South Tama Volleyball will be at home against Benton Community. So we'll have that one starting at 7 o'clock pregame and start at the Varsity at around 7:30. I think it'll be senior night as well, so we'll have that coverage for you as well. And then on Friday, next Friday, we'll have Week 7 action as South Tama travels to Fairfield. 1st and 10.
So here's Blocker in the backfield lining up. Fakes the handoff to Henry. Blocker will take it up the middle.
Kind of gets punished there just beyond the line of scrimmage. Couple
Maybe picks
Tigers.
up a yard.
2nd down and 9 for STC on their own 22 with 8:14 on the clock in the 3rd quarter.
So Tigers up by 31-0. We will not see a continuous clock at this point.
Close, though, but need a few more
Maybe
points.
we'll put a touchdown on the board here. So Upaw, the receiver to the far side of the field. Blocker and Medina in the backfield. He's going to send Clegg in motion. Fake to Clegg. Toss to Clegg.
Tosses it after the motion around, but not much there for Tyrus Clegg, and he gets brought down as soon as he kind of turns the corner.
Clegg makes a few miss.
3rd and 5 now for STC as they get down to the 22-yard line.
Blocker 5 for 6 on the night passing. Kind of an interesting play. Fake the ball to Clegg.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing that one yet.
No. Fake the ball to Clegg. Fake the ball to Henry. Throw it to Clegg.
3rd and 5 now on the 26.
Anthony Thompson lined up at tight end on the near side. Clegg in motion. It's a direct snap to Medina. And
it's a couple, but I don't think it's enough.
Don't think he's going to have the first down. He picks up a few.
4th and 2, they will mark it as the Trojans, after the rush by Medina, get down to the 29-yard line. Clock at 6:40 left in the 3rd.
So I did not see Anthony Viramontes coming off the field. Is South Tama going for it here on the 4th and 2? It looks like the offense is still on the field.
Going for it on 4th and 2.
So here we go. Big play for South Tama here. Blocker set to receive the snap. Tyrus Clegg in motion. Blocker catches the snap, takes it straight up the middle, and he's met hard right in the
He just gets blown
heart
up
of
the line of scrimmage
Tiger
there.
defensive line.
That'll be a turnover on downs for South Tama, and that sets up Grinnell.
Excellent field position.
Excellent field position. But, you know, down 31-0. At this stage, maybe you don't feel too bad about that, but a tough spot for the defense to be in here.
So the ball's set up at the Trojan 29 for the Tigers. Kaufman remains at quarterback. We've got Kipanzu at the running back position in lieu of Ringler. Kaufman's going to give it to Kipanzu, and he's met by Drew Mellies at the line of scrimmage, along with Nick Upaw.
2nd down for Grinnell. 2nd and 10.
No gain on the play.
Yeah, 29-yard line as we're just under 6 minutes left in the 3rd.
And we saw Kipanzu's speed in the 2nd quarter.
Busted out of the backfield on that touchdown run.
Clegg almost caught up to him, but they did have a blocker running right with Kipanzu out there. So it looks like Ringler back in the game potentially at running back, maybe Hoops. 2 receivers to the far side. And Kaufman with a strike.
Finds Doty again. I think
that's 6 or 8.
Yeah, it's hard. Nope, it's 6. It's Heischman again. Goodness gracious, he's having a night.
So Heischman with the touchdown catch from Kaufman. Heischman with 2 catches, both touchdowns.
As the National Guard cannon at the far end of the end zone goes off again. 37-0 the score.
We will now see the continuous clock.
Passing game for Grinnell really getting in gear.
Yeah, we kind of held them at bay in the first quarter, and they've kind of opened the floodgates, so to say.
PAT by Hoops is good. That'll make it 38-0. And South Tama trailing 38-0 with 5:25 left to go in the 3rd quarter. I want to give a shout out to one of our local businesses. Allison was on the road this afternoon and was headed out of town and popped a flat tire coming right off of the exit to head on 30 East and was kind of stranded out there. Gave a call to Elmer Beyer and OK Tire to see if she could get some help. Elmer comes right out and fixes the tire, fixes the spare right on the 4-lane there. And so I want to say a thank you and a shout out to OK Tire and Elmer and those folks over there.
That doesn't surprise me too much there.
No, they're good folks.
Yep. Clegg, with some good running room, but it looks like he just gets clotheslined up at about the 25-yard line. I mean, Clegg had the Jets going, but popped right back up.
He did.
Kind of a vicious-looking hit by the Tigers. So South Tama will take over right around the 25-yard line.
And so 1st and 10 now for South Tama. But they have under 5 to go. Continuous clock in action.
Large in at receiver to the far side. We've got Blocker and Medina in the backfield. Clegg in motion. Blocker looks to throw. He throws toward Anthony Thompson. The ball is incomplete.
Narrowly missed an interception by Brock Heischman, who was coming across the middle. It went kind of straight through his fingers. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 now for South Tama.
Not a lot of room to squeeze that pass in there, I don't think.
No.
Look like maybe your old dive pass where you go play action and try to hit hit that tight end between the linebacker, that little gap between the linebacker and the safeties, but I don't really see a true safety for Grinnell. Everybody's pretty tight up in the box, not really respecting the passing game for South Tama at the moment. So here's Blocker. He's going to flip it to, I think, Michael Henry. And Henry makes a few misses. There is a flag down on the field, but that would be about a 9-yard gain for Henry.
That's the first penalty I've seen in a good. Is that our first penalty
I think
tonight?
It might be.
Period?
Maybe the second one, but
it's been a pretty clean game, and about as soon as we say that, the flags will start coming out.
And that'll be against the Trojans, a holding penalty. So it will negate the 10-yard scamper by Henry.
Update on the Williamsburg-Fairfield game. Williamsburg extending their lead. They're leading now 41-0. Roland Story also in pretty good shape against Greene County, leading 34-6 in the fourth quarter. As we're under 4 minutes now, with 2nd and 20 coming up for South Tama after the penalty.
Okay, so let's see if the Trojans can dig themselves out of the hole here. Tanner Large, the receiver, to the near side. Blocker in the shotgun. Clegg in motion once again. Blocker flings it over here toward Large to the near side.
Catch there. Tanner Large kind of has to alter his angle in midair. Comes down with the reception. And he gains back maybe 8 yards after that penalty. So that sets up 3rd and 12 now. Nice reception there and a good pass by Cody Blocker. So 3rd and 12 on the 23 with continuous clock. We're nearing 3:15 left in the third.
Large's first catch of the night. 5 different Trojans have caught passes from Blocker. So a little bit more of a spread look from South Tama. Blocker has 2 receivers to either side of the field. He'll take the snap and flip it out toward Henry, but it's incomplete.
Just went a little high. Quick, maybe just a little more time needed on that one.
Yep, he got that ball out of his hands pretty quickly, didn't he? And I tell you what, the defender was right on top of
Henry there.
Yep, yeah. Henry anyway.
4th down, 4th and 12 for STC as Medina looks to be punting again. Possibly.
Yeah, I always look for. Yeah, so Henry walks up to the ball. Michael Henry, he does the long snapping for the Trojans.
And the returners for Grinnell set up, and we got a penalty before we can get the punt away.
Hoops and Heischman back to receive for Grinnell, and that flag was thrown way back.
Delay
of game. Okay. So that backs him up.
Another 5.
The 16-yard line.
18 is where they'll be.
18-yard line. So we'll try it again. So Henry snaps to Medina, and he gets it off. It's a line drive. It's going to take a nice bounce.
Rolls all the way.
Heischman running back to return it. He will end up scooping up around the 30. Slips one tackle, but nice little open field tackle there by Wes Hannes. So Hannes coming from the tackle position, getting downfield and getting the job done in the open field for South Tama. Nice when those offensive linemen who don't get a lot of reps on defense get to make a tackle there.
Air it out in the special teams, yeah. 1st and 10 now for the Tigers as they are set up on their own 40-yard line.
Young Bear coming out of the game to take a breather.
As we are getting close to the end of the third quarter now.
Upaw and Young Bear, a couple defensive starters coming out of the game. Garcia and Mellies in the defensive tackle positions. And it's Kipanzu, dropped for a loss by Kinzer Jeanette and Garrett Sermon, along with Drew Mellies.
Tackle in the backfield will set up a 2nd and 11 now on the 39-yard line. Clock running at the 42nd mark here as we are getting close to the end of the quarter.
Yep.
.26 seconds, and Grinnell's going to get one more play off maybe. Looks like we do have some second stringers making their way on for Grinnell, it looks like.
Kaufman still in the shotgun. He'll give the ball to Kafanzu again.
He gets maybe 5 and then gang tackle just inside the 45-yard line. And that will take us to the end of the third quarter. South Tama trailing Grinnell 38-0 after 3 quarters of play. We're going to step away. We'll be right back. Welcome back live from TT Cranny Field in Grinnell, Iowa. Darvin Graham and Nate Van Dyke with you as we get ready to start quarter number 4. South Tama has been behind kind of this whole way. 38-0 the score as we go into the fourth quarter. Continuous clock in effect here as well.
Trojans continue to play hard football. Manuel Cervantes now into the game defensively. For South Tama, new face. And Wyatt Silhonic as well. Here's Kapanzu.
He finds a lane right up the middle,
he's got
still on his
speed.
feet. Finally brought down, but that'll be enough for a first down.
Tackled by number 68. I'm thinking Adrian Valle.
60, yep, that's got to be Valle. Well, I have him at
Not
72.
listed on the...
Yeah, he's not listed, yep. It's got to be Valle, though. First and 10 on the 39 for the Tigers after the nice run there by Kapanzu.
Young Bear back into the game for South Tama. Takes over his inside linebacker position. 2 receivers to either side this time for Kaufman. Kapanzu in the backfield with Kaufman. Kaufman will take the snap, 3-step drop, releases the ball to the outside. Number 15 on the catch. Tackled in there by Cody Blocker and Carver Chichak.
Trenton Scheck, the receiver for Grinnell. And that will bring up second and short, second and 1 on the 30-yard line. Opening minute and change of the fourth quarter. Grinnell kind of still marching down the field. And a short run on first. It's Kapanzu again. And he's dropped close to, yeah, he's got the first. So that'll be enough on a 2nd and 1. That was enough for a first down. Looks like the Tigers have an injured player down. Upaw on the stop for STC, but it's going to be a injury timeout as I can't quite tell.
Looks like maybe Kyle Jackson, number 65, I want to say. So he's being tended to by his trainers and coaches. And the Trojans will come toward the sideline for a quick water break with 10:21 left in the ball game.
All right, we'll step away while we have the injury timeout and check back in a moment.
I
All right, welcome back out of the injury timeout. This is 1st and 10 on the 27 for the Grinnell Tigers.
And Kaufman will take the ball. He'll hand it off. And it's going to be up the middle.
That's going to be a touchdown run for, if I got the number right, that'll be Alejandro Cantillo. And he's a senior. Haven't seen his name called yet.
Nope, that's his first carry.
I think I remember a Cantillo from wrestling season, though. Does that sound
they had
familiar
a
at
kid
all?
with, I don't know,
Then maybe
he
not
might have had a
him.
losing record a couple years ago, and he
Okay.
made the state tournament. So it was kind of a, I don't know if you say Cinderella story,
Sure,
but
sure.
kid who maybe wasn't expecting it and made it all the way to the big show. So
A couple other score updates around the area. Nevada up big 49-0 against Knoxville, and Benton has reclaimed the lead against Solon. It's a tight one there. Benton leading 14-12 in the third quarter. PAT from Hoops is good, and that pushes the score here in Grinnell to 45-0.
So Alejandro Cantillo with a 25-yard touchdown run.
And South Tama
Reeling here a little bit.
Reeling, yeah. And I have to say, I was really, impressed with, with Williamsburg and their coaching staff last week. They had that. It's a little bit different situation here. The score wasn't quite as pushed out as far, but we didn't see that that first string at all to start quarter number 3. I thought that was a really classy move. Last week with Williamsburg at home. I thought that was good sportsmanship. And it's every coach's decision, to do those things. But I'd like to see, gosh, here down 45-0. You'd think this would be the point where.
Yeah, and they brought in a new kicker even for the kickoff.
Okay.
It was Tyler Costo. Kicked the ball, but still a booming kick that went in the end zone.
Yeah.
So,
and that goes to show if they're subbing the kicker, how important he is to hit to their equation, just to make sure that nothing happens to Jack Hoops. So first,
he's also their return man, and
does a
among
lot of
other
things. Scored a
duties.
touchdown on the ground today. 1st and 10 now for the Trojans after the touchback on the 20-yard line. As
South Tama coming out in the score formation. The stack eye had a little bit of success with it earlier in the game.
And they go up the right side, couple of yards on the carry there for Eric Medina.
Looked like, was that large in at quarterback?
Yes, I think that's him kind of standing in the back there, yep.
So South Tama trying out Tanner Large at the quarterback position.
Saw him a little bit last week. We also saw Ryan Brandt step in some moments.
Yep. So Clegg comes in. He'll be the tailback in that stack eye formation. He'll be the last back in the row. Looks like they're going Sermon, Medina, Clegg stacked up behind Large, the quarterback. Large is going to turn and pitch to Clegg. He has a little bit of a window, and he does have speed.
Clegg makes his way down.
He's going to be close to a first down.
30, yeah, that's close.
And they're saying,
they're going to move it.
Move the sticks.
First down for Tyrus Clegg. See if South Tama can get a score on the board here.
Yep. Henry coming in for Clegg, so they're just going to rotate those two at that tailback position. They're going to send in plays with either one of those guys. Viramontes still doing the snapping for South Tama. Double tight formation for the Trojans. Stack eye. Large is going to give to Henry on a double ISO. He follows both Sermon and Medina up the hole. And Henry with a gain of 2. Brings up 2nd down and 8 for South Tama on the 33.5-yard line. Clegg runs the play into Large. The Tigers still in that 3-man front. It's a 3-5. And not much of a safety look. Just looks like a bunch of linebackers out there for Grinnell. They've got a bunch of players in the box. Here's Medina up the middle following Garrett Sermon. And Drew Mellies up the hole. And he's got some yards.
Third and 2 now for the Trojans on the 39-yard line. Clock running as we get to 7:45 left in the fourth quarter.
Clegg in the back of that stack eye. Upaw playing tight end on the near side. It's going to be a toss to Tyrus Clegg around the right side. He bounces it, loses a yard, but now he's moving forward again. He's got a first down and more up across midfield for Tyrus Clegg. 11-yard run for Clegg off the right side. Large just takes the ball and tosses it out to Clegg. He's got Medina and Sermon out there as lead blockers. And Clegg makes some things happen with his feet. So South Tama now up across the midfield marker. Ball's marked at the 49 of Grinnell. 1st and 10, South Tama Trojans. Large gives to Medina. Follows Sermon. Runs right between Mellies and Viramontes, and that's a nice gain right up the middle for what looks like a 10-yard first down.
So South Tama able to get some run here with a kind of a second string unit of defense for the Grinnell Tigers. 6:36 on the clock in the 4th quarter. 1st and 10 for the Trojans as they get it into Grinnell territory. Kind of the first time this game, I don't know.
Consistently moving the ball,
yeah,
right? Get a string of a couple first downs together. Here's Medina again on the handoff from Large. And he's just going to get maybe 1 or 2. Call it 3 they're giving him.
2nd and 7 on the 36-yard line. 6 minutes left in the game.
So Medina stringing some runs together here. He's up to 9 carries on the night, same as Blocker. This one's going to Henry. He's going to bounce it to the near side, and he may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Yep, they're saying he's back to the line of scrimmage. Third and 6. They give Henry a yard on the run.
On the 36-yard line, South Tama breaks the huddle, going right to left in your mind's eye as they are into Grinnell territory.
He's going to give the ball to Medina again, following Sermon up
nice
the hole.
Nice run there by Eric Medina.
And he's going to have a first down.
Medina's run takes it up to the 30, roughly.
Large hustles over to Coach Pesca to get the play. They're milking Mellies and Upaw over there on the near side. And somebody jumped. There's a penalty flag thrown. It's going to be against the Tigers. So it brings up 1st and 5 now for South Tama.
So South Tama trying to get some points on the board here midway into the 4th quarter.
Clock is ticking.
Yeah.
4.5 minutes left in the ball game. Here's Large under center. He's going to toss it out to Clegg again. We've seen this one before this drive, and Clegg, does he lose the ball?
That looked like it came out. Players motioning for a fumble and a turnover.
No sign from the referees yet.
Got a couple players down too. Or they're just laying. Well, no, that
maybe an injury.
Player looks like he's
calf cramp maybe.
Yeah.
But the referees have not given a signal yet. Say South Tama retains the ball.
So that was Garrett Sermon that got underneath the pile and kind of saved the turnover there, but I think it did come loose.
Yep.
So now 2nd and 1 for STC on the 19.
After the 4-yard scamper by Tyrus Clegg. Here's Large. Going to give it to Medina off the left side again. And he gets stacked up.
Not much to go, not much room to run there.
But he will get the first down. So a 1-yard run by Medina for the first down.
1st and 10 now for STC. They get to the 19. So this is our kind of the most successful drive of the game here for South Tama. It was really a dominating performance for Grinnell in the first 3 quarters.
Slug of first downs here by South Tama, and there's 3 minutes left in the game as the clock continues to run. So we've got Large once again, Sermon, Medina, Henry behind Large. And looks like he wanted to pass, and he's going to find Medina. Kind of a broken play, but Large keeps his eyes downfield and has the wherewithal to find Medina.
Another first down second, so that close to a first.
Yep.
Bring up 2nd and 1. Maybe a long one. Call it 2nd and 2.
So Large completes his first pass of the game.
So 2nd and 2 on the 9. Get a first down and still have a...
They're going to go with Henry up the middle, a double ISO following Sermon and Medina. And the result of the play is no gain, brings up 3rd and 1.
3rd and 1 now on the 8.
Obviously 4-down territory. Well,
Yeah.
maybe not. We've seen
Continuous
Medina
clock,
go
though.
in and
Yeah, I mean,
kick the ball.
right. Would you rather have the 3? Yeah, I don't know.
A couple weeks ago, they settled for a field goal late in the game.
Yep. 3rd and 1 on the 8. Minute 40 with continuous clock running here.
And Large just
Up the
with a
middle.
little keeper up the middle. And I believe he's going to have enough for the first down. And he does.
First down, Trojans off the quarterback keeper by Tanner Large. 1st and 10, 1st and goal on the 7.
Minute and 15 seconds left on the clock. Again, it's running continuously. Let's see if the South Tama Trojans can punch one into the end zone to end the game here against the Tigers. Large takes the snap. He's going to give it to Medina, I believe. He throws his arms up, and as do the refs, and it's going to be a score for
Eric Medina into the end zone for South Tama touchdown. Trojans avoid the shutout. And Medina's going to have to bounce right back and get the leg moving here with the PAT attempt. We're at 1 minute to go. As Grinnell will retain the Steve Kriegel Memorial Trophy once again. This will be the, and we got a flag out before the PAT. Let's see here what the, legal substitution against South Tama. So that will move the PAT back 5 yards, and they'll get to re-kick. The PAT is up and good through the middle.
So Medina adds the extra point.
And so South Tama gets on the board after just kind of a plodding march down the field. Several first downs, pretty much all run plays. And Eric Medina punches it in on a goal line play and then kicks the PAT. South Tama trailing 45-7 with just a minute to go left in the fourth quarter. Reminder, we will be live from the Roundhouse on Tuesday. South Tama welcoming in Benton Community for senior night with the volleyball team. Congrats to STC as they get their first WAMAC win of the season this past week over in Vinton-Schellsburg. That was a 5-set victory that went down to the wire, 3-2 in favor of the Trojans. Jeanette Cervantes, I think, totaled 17 kills on the night. Huge night for Jeanette. I believe that I think it was Welsh, Bro, and Cervantes were all over. We're all in double digits for kills.
Wow.
So they had a really
One
nice
and
night.
one in the WAMAC.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
It is. So good luck to them. We got a big Saturday for South Tama. The girls volleyball team heads to Union for their invitational tournament. The cross country teams head to Waverly Waverly for the Wartburg Invitational, and the marching band also in competition as well this weekend too.
1 minute left in the game. South Tama kicking off. Medina doing the kicking. And it's a low squib of a kick fielded by Grinnell, and they're just going to kneel the ball and fall on it. Yep. That was number 3, Jake Van Camper-Knoll. So one more chance for the Tigers here. The clock continues to run down under 40 seconds as the Tigers take the field. They'll run what looks like one play.
And so 20 seconds left. That should about do it.
Camden Harms taking the snap for Grinnell. And looks like the Tigers are just going to let the clock run out here. And that'll do it.
Final score here from TT Cranny Field. Grinnell defeating South Tama and retaining the Steve Kriegel Memorial Trophy for the 7th straight year. Final score 45-7 as you hear the National Guard visiting here in Grinnell, shooting off their cannon. And we got a taste of that earlier in the year as well, as South Tama had the National Guard a couple weeks ago. So yeah, a busy week ahead as South Tama volleyball in action on Tuesday. The cross-country team heads to Montezuma on Thursday. And then on Friday, we'll be on the road. It'll be Jeff Byer and myself on the road to Fairfield. Usual time will apply there, so we're going to have a pregame starting at 6:30 and kickoff planned at 7:30 for the varsity contest. And the presentation of the Steve Kriegel Memorial Trophy coming here. Kriegel's son, Bruce, has been part of the program at Grinnell for a number of years and will receive the trophy on behalf of the team and of the Kriegel family.
Yep.
So they're going to go out for their photo op there.
And South Tama is going to meet and hash it over with their players and coaching staff.
So we'll step away for just a moment. When we get back, we'll wrap some post-game stats and we'll head into the weekend. Thanks for being with us here on Trojan Country. Welcome back, live from Grinnell, TT Cranny Field. It's Darvin Graham, Nate Van Dyke with you here on a post-game wrap-up. I'm going to have Nate give us some post-game stats.
Okay, stats for the Tigers on the night. Rushing the ball, Josh Ringler with 10 attempts for 56 yards. Benny Kifanzu with 7 attempts for 100 yards on the night and a touchdown for each of those first 2. Jack Hoops, 2 carries for 39 yards. Brady Kaufman, the quarterback, just 1 carry for -2 yards. 1 carry for Alejandro Cantillo for 25 yards, which was a touchdown score. Passing tonight for the Tigers, Brady Kaufman did all of the passing. He was 9 for 9 for 12 for 112 yards and 3 touchdowns. Receiving the ball for the Tigers, Josh Ringler with 1 catch for 2 yards. Derek Doty, 4 catches for 56 yards. Kane Pavey, 1 catch for 16 yards and a touchdown. Brock Heischman, just 2 catches, but also 2 touchdowns for 39 yards. And Trent Scheck, 1 catch for 9 yards. Scoring plays for the Grinnell Tigers. In the first half, Josh Ringler, 2-yard touchdown run. Kaufman passed to Pavey for 16 yards. Kaufman with a pass to Heischman for 20 yards. Kifanzu with a 68-yard touchdown run. In the second half for the Tigers, a 22-yard field goal from Hoops. Kaufman to Heischman for 19 yards in the air. And Alejandro Cantillo with the 25-yard touchdown run to cap off the night for the Tigers. So a good performance for Grinnell offensively. For the Trojans, running the ball, Cody Blocker, 9 carries for 24 yards. Eric Medina, 12 carries for 58 yards. Michael Henry, 7 carries for 2 yards. Tyrus Clegg, 5 carries for 23 yards. Marcus Bear, 1 carry for 0 yards. Tanner Large, 1 carry for 2 yards. Passing the ball for South Tama, Cody Blocker was 6 for 9 with 15 yards through the air. Michael Henry, 0 for 1. And Tanner Large was 1 for 1 for 9 yards. Receiving the ball for South Tama, Tyrus Clegg with 2 catches for 1 yard. Marcus Bear, 1 catch for 0 yards. Nick Upaw, 1 catch for 5 yards. Eric Medina, 2 catches for 10 yards. And Tanner Large, 1 reception for 8 yards. And the scoring play for South Tama was Eric Medina on the 7-yard touchdown run.
So South Tama moves on to Fairfield next week, and then we'll wrap their season with a game against Benton and then Solon. So kind of on paper, the best looking matchup coming next week against the Fairfield Trojans. Fairfield handled business pretty well last year out, but they've had some losses. On paper, they're kind of looking like the most competitive matchup left on the calendar. Quick update, some scores before we sign off here. A minute 45 left to go in the game. Solon is still trailing Benton 14-12. So it'll be real interesting to see when we get home how that one ends up. Pella looks to be in control against Newton, 35-21. Xavier has gotten back ahead in their game in the second half. They were leading 21-14 against North Scott last I checked. Iowa Valley looks to be going on to a win against Winfield Mountain Union, 72-30. Independence looks to be trailing Dubuque Wahlert Catholic, 10-7, a close one there. It'll be interesting to see some more final scores roll in this evening as well, and we are going to head into the weekend here. So thanks a lot, Nate, for being with us this evening. Thanks to Rami Dowd in the studio, and appreciate you being with us here on Trojan Country, and have a great weekend, Trojan fans.